Hello guitarists, musicians and beautiful people everywhere. I'm Frank and this is my Rickenbacker 330, and here's a little bit of a history of Rickenbacker, their guitars and how the Beatles came about to using them. So come along on my journey.
This is awesome.
History. Ancient history.
Okay, electric magnetic pickups were invented by George Beecham and Adolf Rickenbacker in 1932. These work by wrapping a coil of wire around a magnet that would convert the vibration of the strings into electrical signals which could be amplified. Pretty simple, don't you think? But they invented it.
Not too bad.
So Rickenbacker were at the forefront of electrical guitar invention and innovation. You have to remember that without amplification, electrical guitars were nothing more than acoustics. So they also made amplifiers that went along with the invention of their electrical guitars. Now to the Beatles and their history with the Rickenbacker guitars.
I never believed the Beatles were involved.
John Lennon owned at least 4 Rickenbackers. His first was a 325, which was blonde but eventually painted black. It was refinished. You can hear it on the song All My Loving, played as the rhythm section. His second Rick was a similar 325, but it was black already, finished black in the factory for him. And the third was a model 1996, which Rickenbacker ads in England had dubbed the Beatlebacker. Now, that's a pretty cool bit of advertising there, I think. It had F-holes instead of the cat's eye slashes here, and it was just very nice from what I've seen. Also now, his last guitar, the fourth, was a 325 12 string, and apparently it was a one-off made for John from the factory. Paul McCartney originally played a Hofner bass. Now that's pretty well known, of course, but he also played a 4001S Rickenbacker bass, and he played that for quite some years after deciding not to play the Hofner anymore. Now, George Harrison also played a Rickenbacker. He played a Model 360 12. Now, on Beatles songs you can hear his backing on things like A Hard Day's Night, 8 Days a Week, and You Can't Do That, which is the Ricky in the rhythm. Just beautiful, a very jangly sound, of course. George Harrison later played a 370 12, which appears to have been a one-off model, just one ever made. In fact, due to the Beatles' use of the Rickenbacker guitars, many people, including me, thought that they were actually made in England and not the US. There's absolutely no doubt, though, that the Beatles were influential in the demand for Rickenbacker guitars. Just ask other famous players like Pete Townsend of The who played the Rickenbacker, and also John Fogerty of Creedence Clearwater. Now this particular Rickenbacker is a 330. It's US made, 2 single coil high gain pickups, 21 frets, double cutaway giving access to the whole neckboard, and it just plays beautifully. The fingerboard is rosewood, the neck is maple and walnut. Have a look at that walnut stripe through there. Absolutely glorious. Yes, absolutely glorious. The body is also maple, and it weighs 3.6 kilos or 8 pounds. Has Goto machine heads, and it's what's classed as semi-acoustic because of the semi-hollow body. Now, strangely enough, it also has the Rick-O sound input. Now, what the Rick-O sound does, it actually is a stereo jack, TRS, and it splits the neck pickup from the bridge pickup so that you can have your TRS run out of there, out of your jack, into two separate amplifiers. Or you can have it into an amplifier and a foot pedal, and it just makes a myriad of sounds, which is amazing. So there it is, the Rickenbacker, a little bit of history, the Beatles, and my 330 with the Ricco sound. Yes, absolutely fantastic. So if you like my video, give me the thumbs up, subscribe down the bottom, and also leave a comment and tell me if you've got a Rick and if you love it as much as what I do. So I'm Frank, and I'll see you on the rest of my journey.